I hate this. Okay. Before I start talking about the episode, let me just give you a little background on the show Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. It was a show on Cartoon Network that was created by Craig McCracken and developed by him, Lauren Faust, Mike Moon, and more. It was a show that came out in August of 2004 and ended in May of 2009, with a total of 6 seasons and 79 episodes, including 82 segments and 18 shorts. It was about this kind of orphanage owned by Madame Foster that houses imaginary friends, giving them a place to stay when their child friends outgrow them and can be later adopted by other kids. The main cast of imaginary friends include Wilt, Eduardo, Coco, Mr. Harriman, and of course, Blue. Along with them, there are human characters like Blue's best friend Mac, Madame Foster, and her 22-year-old granddaughter Frankie, who was the caregiver at Foster's. And if you are wondering why I said her age, there are 2 reasons. 1, I am now the same age as her, 22! Yay! And 2, I figure there would be some perverts watching this, so I figured it would be wise to clarify that Frankie is in fact an adult. Enjoy yourselves, you bastards! Now you also may be wondering what my opinion on the show is. Did I grow up with it? No, I did not. I may have watched it a few times, but I was more into Nickelodeon when Foster's was around. I didn't really become a fan of Cartoon Network until the 2010s, when Regular Show and Steven Universe came out. So, I cannot consider myself a true Foster's fan. But, I can understand the impact it had on people and its fan base. It had very good and unique animation, memorable characters, creative designs, good humor, and it had a very catchy theme song. But something I definitely know about the show is that there are 2 episodes that are absolutely despised, not just by the fan base, but by animation fans in general. One of them is Everyone Knows It's Bendy, one of the most popular bad cartoon episodes in history. This is considered the worst episode of the show, period. Now, while I do agree that it is bad, I cannot say that it is the worst of the show. Oh no, in my opinion, that distinction should go to the episode I'm covering today, Imposter's Home for Make 'em Up Pals. But why? Why is this episode the worst? What makes this one worse than Everyone Knows It's Bendy? Well, let me tell you why. First, I will give you a summary, and then my final thoughts. And if you're wondering, no, there will be no fun fact section, and there will be no joke section. Because this episode doesn't deserve it! Okay, fine. I will give you guys 2 interesting facts about the episode at the end. Just 2. Now, with that out of the way, begin. The episode opens with Blue making a mess in the house. He was doing an experiment, Frankie told him it would make a mess, Blue said it wouldn't, but he was wrong. When Mr. Harriman sees it, he tells Frankie to clean it up. While she doesn't like it, she puts up with it. Why? Well, if she manages to get this and all of her other chores done today, she could attend this rocking concert she wants to go to. So she gets to work cleaning up Blue's mess, but is interrupted by an unexpected visitor. This is Goofball, a clown-nosed, polka-dot tie-wearing and almost humanistic-looking being who claims to be an imaginary friend. Obviously, Frankie is not buying it, but Mr. Harriman allows Goofball inside, saying that Foster should never turn away an imaginary friend in need. And from this point forward, Frankie goes through hell. Goofball makes her do his laundry and makes her do his homework. He also messes up Frankie's other chores. When she is trying to give Eduardo a bath, Goofball drops by and messes it up. When she is trying to put all the imaginary friend babies to sleep, Goofball drops by and messes it up. At one point, he and Blue eat all the kitchen food, even though Frankie just went shopping that day. So Mr. Harriman orders for her to go to the store again. When Frankie suggests that they should have takeout instead, Mr. Harriman refuses, saying that their new guest should be given a proper meal. So Frankie goes to the store, buys the food, and comes back home, only to find the others eating takeout pizza. Turns out, Goofball suggested the same thing that Frankie suggested, but Mr. Harriman agreed with him rather than Frankie. Oh, and she also pays for the pizza too. Needless to say, Frankie is a little pissed off. So she tries to expose Goofball for being a fraud. At one point, she finds his clown nose on the floor and thinks she's got him. She confronts Goofball in the arcade, starts accusing him of being a fake, and shows him the clown nose, only to find out that she picked up a spare. Later, she asks Goofball who his buddy is and where his family is from. When Goofball lazily and unconvincingly says they are from Canada, Frankie tells Mr. Harriman that they should get him out of here. But Mr. Harriman doesn't believe her. This is when Frankie figures that if Goofball can supposedly go around pretending to be an imaginary friend, why can't she? So she tries the same thing. It does not work. Goofball figures it out right away, Mr. Harriman finds out about it, scolds her for it, and not only orders for her to clean up the entire house, but he also bans her from going to the concert. So Frankie cleans the house, feeling absolutely deflated and depressed. But those emotions change when she discovers that not only did the others go to the concert that she wanted to go to, not only did Goofball go with them, but he also gloats about it, saying, "Yeah, Frankie, too bad you missed it." This is when Frankie completely snaps. She chases Goofball around the house, gets him down on the ground, and rips off his nose. Now you may be thinking, oh, she finally got him. Now everyone's gonna see that this guy was a fake. He's not gonna be an imaginary friend. He's gonna be exposed in front of everyone, right? Right? N-O. Turns out, in a shocking twist, he was an imaginary friend. He just had an elephant's trunk for a nose. Also, his buddy does have a family that lives in Canada, and they actually come to see him at Foster's. In the end, Frankie was wrong, tells Goofball that she's sorry, he forgives her, and the episode finally ends. So, what are my thoughts? Okay. Before I talk about the problems, let's quickly go over some of the positives, some of the okay things in this episode. The animation was fine, the voice acting was fine, there were a couple of laughs, and there were a couple of good lines. And there is this one running gag between Frankie and Blue that I actually thought was okay. Like, there's a jar that Frankie has where it's labeled Frankie's right and Blue is wrong, and the joke is that Blue is always wrong and Frankie is right. So at the beginning when Blue said, "Oh, don't worry, it's not gonna blow up," when Frankie said it would, and then it did blow up, he puts a coin into the jar. But then of course at the end, when Frankie is proven wrong that Goofball is an imaginary friend, Blue holds out a jar that says Blue is right, and Frankie puts a coin in that jar. So I will admit, that was kind of cute. Now, let's go ahead and talk about every single problem with this episode, and then I will tell you guys why this episode is worse than everyone knows it's Bendy. Where do I begin? First, the episode is 22 minutes long, and it feels like it. Aside from the irritating moments, it is just boring. There are some moments of filler where they just hold on to a shot for a little too long, like the first time we see Goofball, for example. I get what the episode is trying to establish about this guy from the start, but it could have been done much quicker. Honestly, this episode could have been done in half the runtime. The Frankie disguise scene, the market scene, and some of the stupid stuff Goofball did during the bath scene and baby scene could have been cut. And if the episode was done in, say, 10 or 11 minutes, it would have made the story's pacing less slow and boring. Number 2, Goofball himself. I do not like his design. I do not like his character. I do not like his personality. I do not like his voice. I do not like his smug attitude. I do not like Goofball.
Yeah, I'm one of those imaginatory guys. If train A leaves station B at 9:15, traveling 125 miles per hour, and makes 2 stops, and train B leaves station A at 9:25, traveling 100 miles per hour, but only has to make 1 stop, which train will get there first? Piss, Franny, getting their little hopes up and instantly smashing them down. So, got any peanut butter in there?
Yeah.
That's about a jar of jelly.
Yes.
Ooh, loaf of bread?
If he does that again, you can shoot him.
Number 3, I also do not like Mr. Harriman. He is too harsh on Frankie, treats her like crap, insults her laziness, despite the episode proving the contrary, and he decided to follow a random bozo's suggestion rather than Frankie's. Screw this guy. Number 4, the other characters are idiots too. How can they not be suspicious about this guy? If I was one of these imaginary friends and I saw this guy come in, I would start thinking that he may be faking it. Other than that, they also seem pretty insensitive and are way too dependent on Frankie to do everything. Speaking of Frankie, number 5, Frankie went through hell in this episode. And she did not deserve it. It was not fun to watch. She was forced to do Goofball's laundry, homework, buy extra food with her own money, and forced to clean the house when it was not even her fault. No one believes her when she tries to prove that Goofball is a fake, no one treats her respectfully, and she unjustly gets banned from going to the concert that she wanted to go to. And this was the only reason why she put up with everything in the first place. So yeah, I did feel sorry for her, and I also did not blame her for snapping at the end. I'd be the same way too. But with that said, I will say this. Problem number 6, her disguising herself like that was not a smart choice. Hell, it was not even a good disguise, just look at it. Now look, I get the point that she was trying to make, but there is something else she could have done instead. Remember that arcade scene where Frankie was trying to accuse Goofball of being a fake? She had his nose, but turns out it was a spare? Well, here's what should have happened instead. Frankie should have gone up to this guy and said, look, I do not believe you're an imaginary friend. You keep on saying you are, but I don't see any proof. So why don't you prove it? Take off your nose. I see your hands covering it. Show me what's there. That's all that needed to happen. And yet, it did not happen. If he took it off and showed her that he was telling the truth, okay. If he didn't and he started to run, then it would have been fine too. Again, that could have happened if the runtime was shorter. Now here's problem number 7. Why didn't Goofball just prove to Frankie that he was an imaginary friend? Again, all he had to do was take off the clown nose and boom, done. It would have prevented the freak out moment at the end. It almost seemed like he wanted to drive her nuts, just based on his attitude and his lines. Or maybe he is that stupid. Which isn't funny either. Problem number 8, the twist. Okay, put aside how painfully predictable and stupid this is, let's make something real clear. Yes, Frankie was wrong. Goofball was an imaginary friend. But whether this guy is an imaginary friend or not, it does not excuse his behavior in this episode. I do not care if you're black. I do not care if you're a white. I do not care if you're male or female or non-binary. I don't care what state you're from. I don't care what country you're from. I don't even care if you're imaginary or real. If you treat anybody like how Goofball treated Frankie in this episode, I have only this to say to you.
You suck, you jackass.
Problem number 9. When the Canadian family comes to see Goofball, the episode obviously makes some Canadian jokes. They are not funny, and I do not need to show you the clip. You already know what the jokes are. And finally, problem number 10, the ending scene was absolutely infuriating. Despite Goofball treating Frankie like crap for most of the episode, it's her that apologizes for all the things she did to him. Literally, that's how it goes.
Goofball, I really am sorry.
Hey, no worries, Franny. You took real good care of me.
Uh, no.
No.
That's not how it should have ended. Now, here is how the episode should have ended. Goofball gets exposed for being a fake. Frankie rips off the nose and shows everyone that he actually is a human being. He's finally exposed in front of everyone. He then runs away, or every imaginary friend, I don't know, Mr. Harriman or, Wardo, whoever, kicks him out the door. Then they look back at Frankie, begin to apologize for not believing her. Blue puts another coin into the Frankie's right and Blue is wrong jar, and then the episode concludes with every single one of them catering to Frankie's needs, making sure that they make up for everything while Frankie sits back, relaxes, and smiles. That is how it should have ended. Now, I do get what the episode was kinda telling us about Frankie. You won't always be right, don't assume too much, blah 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 blah. But any other show could have done that, and that's not as impactful as teaching kids about the dangers of letting others take advantage of you and the dangers of interacting with people that lie about who they are to get exactly what they want. That is something that kids and adults can learn about and relate to. That's what the episode should have focused on. But nope, the episode doesn't do that. So yeah, those are all the problems with this episode. And here is also why this is worse than everyone knows it's Bendy. Number 1, it had production issues based around the runtime. This episode did not. Number 2, Blue was not the only one that believed Bendy was a jackass. And number 3, the ending, while botched, did at least give us a good moment where Bendy gets tricked by Blue and exposed for his wrongdoings. It was actually pretty funny and satisfying. Hell, even SpongeBob's one-course meal had something like that. Mr. Krabs scares Plankton over and over by wearing a costume of his whale daughter Pearl after he finds out Plankton is scared of whales. This makes him depressed and suicidal, so SpongeBob tells Plankton the truth, finds out about Krabs' worst fear, and he gets his revenge on him. Again, the endings to both episodes were ruined too, but this episode's ending was not only ruined, but it did not have any satisfying moments in it. Sure, seeing Frankie snap and go after Goofball was nice, but the good feeling didn't last. Now, here's a good question about the ending that I have drawn up in my head that the episode should have had, and this is something else that other fans have drawn up in their heads too. Would that have saved the episode? I honestly don't really know what others would think of that. I guess it just depends on the viewer. There could be one person that says, oh, okay, well, most of the episode was bad, but at least the ending saved it. At least it was worth it. Or there could be somebody else that says, nah, I don't care, this episode still sucks. As for me, if it did have that much better ending, I probably would have thought this episode was bad, but not super duper bad. But nope, it did not have that ending. So, all those reasons and more is why this episode is not only worse than Everyone Knows It's Bendy, but also the worst episode in the show. In the end, it made me feel the exact same way Dennis Leary felt when he saw his Boston Red Sox blow Game 6 of the 1986 World Series.
That really pissed me off. Really pissed me off. Really pissed me off.
Final score, 1 out of 10. Do not recommend it to anyone, and do not watch it. Now, before I go, I promised you guys that I would give you 2 interesting facts about this episode. And also, these are 2 interesting facts that interested me, so here they are. Due to Goofball and the episode's negative reception by critics and audiences alike, this episode has been considered non-canonical to the rest of the series. Goofball himself has also been declared non-canonical and has never made a second appearance. This is the second episode to be declared non-canonical, the first being Everyone Knows It's Bendy, for similar reasons. Yeah, no shit! But now, here is the second fact, and this is one that really pisses me off. Lauren Faust had actually stated on her Twitter page that the original pitch to Goofball's story was that he was supposed to be a strange man in his 30s pretending to be an imaginary friend and leeching off Fosters. Okay, I can get the idea they're going for. It actually is not a bad idea. Teach kids to, don't let them take advantage of you. Get rid of people that fake, whatever they identify as, you get the picture. But now here's the part that pisses me off. However, due to the direction it would be when aiming towards children, especially since having a strange, lazy, confused, and lonely 30-something-year-old man wouldn't really be seen as relatable, quirky, and not child-friendly/appropriate, a change had to happen. They were asked by Cartoon Network executives to make Goofball a teenager and later be revealed to actually be a real imaginary friend. This was done in order to be relatable to kids and be family-friendly and prevent backlash from a creepiness factor. Faust also said because of this, the original plan and expected plot of the episode was ruined. Not relatable, huh? Okay. I don't mind the change of having this character go from a 30-something man to a teenager. I don't mind that. What I do mind is just having that twist at the end and completely scrapping and ruining the original plan. Again, like I said before, I don't care if this guy was an imaginary friend or not. I don't care if this guy was an adult or not. That does not make up for his behavior in the goddamn episode. Period. End of story. That's it. I'm done. Just thank you guys for watching this review, and if you enjoyed it, give it a like and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And also, let me know in the comments below about your thoughts on this episode if you have seen it yourself. Thank you for watching. My name is Sam, and 3, 2, 1. Good night.